Well, this is a fantastic way to start the day. Awesome job, Enterprise, with your sweet fucking tire. Thank you. Well, lucky me. My day starts by pulling out of the driveway and having a flat tire with absolutely no tire pressure at all. So, AAA is luckily like a minute away, which is nice because I'll get it replaced super quick, but now I have to drive back to the airport to get a different car, which I already have to drive 2 hours to get to the closest gym to me. So, awesome start. But it is what it is. It's shit that happens. Sucks. It's actually the only bad thing that's ever happened to me in a rental car. So, I can't be that mad. I've had a lot. Well, got my flat tire change, which was super awesome because AAA was like a mile down the street, and I think they did it in, by the time I called them and they finished, it took like 18 minutes. And I have literally no shame in having somebody else change my tire, fix my car, or do anything. He finished everything in like 13 minutes. It would have taken me probably a fucking hour. And I will always put my ego aside if somebody can do it faster and better than me. Don't give a shit. Doesn't bother me whatsoever. It was kind of weird watching a man change my tire, but well, it took me about an hour to get my tire changed, get back to the airport, which the good thing was the airport was the same direction that the direction of the city that I needed to travel to today. So that kind of, at least I wasn't going out of the way, so that wasn't too bad. But it took about an hour to get back to Enterprise, which Enterprise was super cool about it at the airport. I don't think they're going to charge me anything. I hope not, until like some random shit shows up on a bill. Got a new car. Then now I'm in the middle of my drive out to Baton Rouge. I think I'm like 30 minutes out now at this point. I typically spend these drives listening to podcasts. Kind of cycle between like 3 usually. So my go-tos are Gary Vaynerchuk, anything he's kind of put out, whether it's a keynote or one of his, I don't know, daily V's, or just basically any type of content that's on his podcast. I usually cycle through some of those. I also really enjoy the Tim Ferriss show. He is kind of a guy he's really focusing on health. He's kind of focusing on the mind, the body, but just kind of different ways to approach life. So he has some really interesting people on his podcast. Does a good job at kind of just diving into them and their questions. And I just find it really interesting. And then when I'm kind of just want to zone out, I listen to Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, depending on who he is on, sometimes he's got like somebody really funny on, and you can kind of just like laugh about it and just not do much or not think that much when you're listening. And other times he's got people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, and the shit like blows your fucking mind for an hour and a half. It just kind of depends on who he's got on, and I don't know, it's always different. His podcasts are super interesting, always good entertainment for these long drives. I can only listen to the same fucking 6 songs on the radio over and over, and half the time there's no service out in the middle of nowhere. Well, I went to see my first gym and they were closed. That flat tire kind of fucked me because I showed up 50 minutes after they closed. And there's a lot of gyms that are open even when they don't have any classes running. There's some gym owners who are there all day, but for the most part they're only open within like 15 to 20 minutes of each window of their class before and after. So if you miss that window, odds are nobody will be around. So then I just have to move on and hope the next one's open, and I just keep moving down the list until I get to a time zone when somebody's fucking open. But this kind of middle of the day between like 9 and noon, there's very little CrossFit gyms open, so it's more of just dropping in and hoping to strike luck that somebody's hanging out.
Continue on South Burnside Avenue for 2 miles.
So, just finished up lunch, ate some pho by myself, or pho? Pho. Yeah, I don't know why I said pho, fucking retarded. But then swung across the street, met another CrossFit gym. Good gym, big space. They're not really that interested, but nonetheless, it's a gym where there's multiple partners, so I'm gonna send them information anyways. Hopefully it draws a little bit more interest, and yeah, they at least want to chat some more. The hard part with a lot of these gyms is there's 3 or 4 people that are all partners on the gym, and usually I'm only talking to one of them at a time. So it's either getting multiple ones at a time in the same room, or getting one to kind of pitch us to the rest of their partners. So it's kind of mixed. But so now I'm going to head into Starbucks again for the 3rd time today. And I got to get an email out to a few gyms that I met today where I just haven't been able to kind of send them a follow-up or a summary. So I want to get that out to them as soon as possible before they get who the fuck I am. And yeah, hopefully I can capture a couple more gyms while I'm up this way. I'll probably swing through LSU's campus at some point just to check it out, because I always like to see something cool when I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, and I've never seen that before. So yeah, it'll be fun. Love this man or woman. Love this person. It's now 3 o'clock. Finished up at my 3rd Starbucks trip, following up with a couple gyms. So now there's 2 more gyms in the area that I would really like to meet with before I start to head out. I'd like to catch them both before 4 o'clock, because from like 4 to 7, most CrossFit gyms are just packed, and a lot of times it's a tough time for owners to take any time to chat with you, and it's hard to get in there without like actually interrupting somebody or something. So I just finished up with the last 2 gyms that I was planning on visiting today, but I didn't really get to visit with either of them, which is unfortunate because it ends up just kind of feeling like a giant waste of time. But it is what it is. It's part of this life. The first gym, the owner wasn't there, and class was about to start. So even if he was to show up, he would be busy, so it wouldn't have worked out in my favor anyways. And I had to leave in order to make another gym down the street before their class started. And I got to the gym, and it just wasn't a gym that would fit that well into our program. I've been driving about an hour and a half now, back to New Orleans from Baton Rouge. A ton of traffic. Kind of sat in silence for like 30 minutes of the ride. Sometimes I do that. I just I don't want to listen to any podcasts. I don't want to listen to any music. I just want everything to be quiet. I don't know, I think it's kind of when I reach like a point of mental exhaustion, and I just need it. Then I took the chance to call my mom, talk to her for a little while, and I talked to my dad, talked to him for a little while. I always try to connect with them probably like 3 times a week with each of them. It's 7 p.m. I just finished eating Whole Foods, which is like my patented go-to dinner place. I try to eat pretty healthy, so it's kind of one of the easiest options instead of searching around for a restaurant. It just gets a little difficult, and I usually like shit for lunch, so I try to make it up for dinner. So now, yeah, 7 o'clock, just got back to my Airbnb, probably bust out some yoga. Then I gotta plan my trip tomorrow. I'm gonna drive to Mobile, Alabama, which is another 2-hour drive away. So I have to figure that out. And yeah, that'll probably take up the rest of my night. I'm pretty fucking beat from driving all day. Usually happens, and then by the kind of by like Thursday, Friday on these heavy travel weeks, I'm just fucking exhausted. So I'll just suck the shit up.